In the years following independence, India stood firm against enormous challenges. Barely 2 decades old as a nation, India had already defended its sovereignty in 1947 to 48. And in 1962, despite suffering setbacks against China, the Indian soldiers showed unmatched courage, fighting till last bullet in the most hostile terrain of the Himalayas. The lesson was clear: India would never again be caught unprepared. By 1965, that spirit of resilience was about to be tested once more, this time on the Western Front against Pakistan. The war of 1965 was not sudden. It began with rising tensions in the Rann of Kutch. When the enemy tested India in April, our forces stood firm in the salt flats and marshlands, holding the line with grit and discipline. The confrontations here set the stage for what was to come. In August, Pakistan launched Operation Gibraltar, sending thousands of armed infiltrators across the line of control into Jammu and Kashmir. Their mission was to incite rebellion and capture the valley. But they underestimated both the people of Kashmir and the Indian army. Villagers reported the infiltrators, and within days, Indian forces launched counter-operations, clearing the intruders and preparing for the larger conflict to come. One of the earliest and most decisive operations was the capture of the Hajipir Pass, a key infiltration route used by Pakistan. On 26 August, Indian troops of 1 para, 4 Rajput and 19 Punjab scaled treacherous heights under heavy rain and enemy fire. After fierce fighting, the tricolour was raised on Hajipir on 28 August. The capture of this pass cut off infiltration routes and demonstrated India's resolve. Frustrated, Pakistan launched Operation Grand Slam on 1 September, aiming to seize Akhnoor in Jammu, a crucial communication centre. Pakistan's advance threatened to cut off large parts of Jammu and Kashmir, but Indian resistance was fierce. Reinforcements arrived, halting the advance, and the Indian army prepared to expand the war beyond Kashmir. At dawn on 6 September, the Indian army crossed the international border in Punjab. The Battle of Lahore had begun. Indian troops swiftly advanced towards the city. Near Lahore, Indian troops launched the Battle of Burki on 8 September. The Pakistani stronghold was fiercely defended, but after 3 days of fighting, India captured Burki, beginning Lahore within striking distance. This advance put immense pressure on Pakistan's leadership. Even as Indian troops advanced towards Lahore, Pakistan attempted a massive counter-offensive in the Khinkaran sector. On 8 September, hundreds of Pakistani pattern tanks rolled into Indian territory, but Indian troops, led by indomitable 4 grenadiers and supported by ingenious use of flooded sugarcane fields, created a trap. Over 90 Pakistani tanks were destroyed and captured, earning the area named Patanagar. The Battle of Asal Uttar was one of the largest tank battles since World War II and a decisive Indian victory. While Asal Uttar raged in Punjab, another tank battle was fought at Phillora in Sialkot sector. Beginning on 10 September, India's 1 armoured division clashed with Pakistan's armoured brigades. In 3 days of heavy fighting, India destroyed more than 60 enemy tanks, forcing Pakistan to retreat. Phillora marked the turning of the tide on the Sialkot front. But the largest tank battle of the war was yet to come at Tawanda. Beginning on 11 September, Indian and Pakistani armoured forces clashed in open fields. It was the biggest tank battle since World War II, involving over 600 tanks. Despite stiff resistance, Indian forces inflicted heavy losses, preventing Pakistan from launching any further offensive. Tawanda became a symbol of Indian defensive brilliance. Dograi, just 10 kilometers from Lahore, saw some of the fiercest fighting. On 6 September, 3 Jet battalions stormed Pakistani defences but were forced to withdraw due to lack of support. They returned on 24 September, launching a midnight assault. After brutal close combat, Dograi fell to India, providing the unmatched courage of its soldiers. By mid-September, Lahore front lines were under severe strain. With Indian troops at Burki and Dograi, Lahore was virtually at India's mercy. Yet, demonstrating restraint and responsibility, India did not target civilian areas, focusing only on military objectives. By 22 September, the United Nations intervened. Both sides accepted a ceasefire on 23 September. India stood tall, having thwarted Pakistan's design, capturing significant territory and demonstrating unmatched valor across every front. The 1965 war showcased the courage of the Indian soldier, from the sugarcane fields of Khinkaran to the approaches of Lahore. Every battle, every sacrifice reinforced India's resolve to defend its sovereignty. The war was not about territory, but about honor. And in 1965, the Indian Army proved to the world that India will never bend, never break, and never surrender. This was the story of 1965, a war that began with infiltration but ended with India's unyielding courage, a story of sacrifice, strategy, and supreme bravery, a story written in blood and glory by the soldiers of Bharat.